Hello, Mr. Manley here, and I'm going to do a video here about finding the area of a triangle. One thing that I'm assuming you know for this video is that, for this example, is the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. And this would be simple if I had a right triangle, but if I do not know that I have a right triangle, I'm going to have to do a little trigonometry. So for this triangle that I'm given, I want to call, I would like to call one of these sides that I know, either this side or this side, the base. So let's say that, first of all, you might be tempted to look at this and say, oh, well, there's a right angle there, but we can't look at that and say that. It might look like a right angle or close to it, but we can't say that it is. So I'm going to pick this side and call that the base. And if that's my base, I need to understand that the height is from the opposite angle and then perpendicular. That is going to be the height of this triangle. Given that that is the height, I can find that height if I isolate this right triangle. Now I've created my own right triangle there, and I can find this side h over here by using trigonometry. And the trigonometry that I'm going to use is the sohcahtoa trigonometry, that if I'm looking at this angle, the opposite, the sine of that angle is equal to the length of the opposite side over the hypotenuse. So this is going to yield the equation that the sine of 42 degrees is equal to the opposite. So I go opposite the 42-degree angle and look at that, what is the opposite side in this right triangle. Remember, I've created my own right triangle here, and the opposite side is the height, which is what we're looking for, over the hypotenuse, and in this case the hypotenuse is 5. Solving this, I get that 5 times sine 42 degrees is equal to h, and that's just a calculator key in, which is 3.35. So 3.35 is equal to h. Okay, let's clean up my triangle over here a little bit now. Okay, so back to the triangle over here. Now I know that this base is 7, and it has this height, which I've determined is 3.35. And then I can use that to find my area. So area is equal to 1/2 base times height. And in this case, my base is 7 and my height is 3.35. So my area is 11.7. And it looks like Alex is always asking us to round off to the 100th, if you're with my Alex class. So 11.7 is the area. Let's look at another one. Okay, so this one here, what would you do? If you're going to do it like I did the last one, you're going to choose this for the base. That will give you this for the height, and then you're going to find the height by saying sine 39 degrees is equal to h over 5, which will give you a height of 3.15, and then the area is equal to 1/2 base times height, which is 1/2 base is 5 and the height is 3.15, and then we can multiply that and get 7.9. Okay, let's just look at one more here. This one is a little bit trickier. Which side am I going to choose for my base? Let's say that I choose this side, and it really doesn't matter which side we choose on this one. When there's an obtuse angle, so if we have an obtuse angle and we have these two sides that are containing that angle, it's not going to matter which one we choose. The process is going to be similar. I choose this base. Now I need the height to that base, right? But I need it to be at a right angle. So I'm going to have to extend this out past the edge of the triangle, right? And then I'm going to bring the height down at a right angle from there. And there is my height. Now from here it's just a little bit tricky, not too much. I've got to, where I'm going to get my right triangle now is here. I'm going to look at this right triangle. That little right triangle that now has 7 as its hypotenuse. So I made a right triangle that had 7 for its hypotenuse. And then I'm going to have to duck into here and find this angle, which hopefully you can see pretty simply is 180 degrees minus 150 degrees. So stop and look at that and make sure you see we're finding this angle of the right triangle, and that angle of the right triangle is 180 minus 153. So that's going to be 27 degrees for that. I've got, looks like I don't have my drawing really doesn't look like it's very much to scale, because the way I drew it, that looks a lot bigger than 27 degrees. But that's fine. We can go ahead and move on from there and say that now the height, this height over here, we can find using the sohcahtoa trigonometry that the sine of 27 degrees is equal to the height, the opposite, which is opposite this angle. So this angle in the bottom right, and the opposite side is the height, over the hypotenuse, which is 7. So we've got 7 sine 27 degrees equals h, which gives us a height of 3.8, and then the area of the triangle equal to 1/2 base times height. So that's 1/2. The base in this case is 12, remember, and then times the height of 3.18 gives us our area of 19.1. Okay, so hopefully that's enough for you to really deal with any situation. I can't look at every possible combination of the types of triangles that you can use, but just looking at these few examples, hopefully you see how, if you can find you're looking for the base and the height, and if you can use trigonometry to find what you're looking for, and if you really understand how base and height work, and that height is perpendicular to the base, you'll be able to solve any triangle and find the area of it.